distance.
What happens when an iconic streaming show that's a spin-off of one of the most successful movie franchises of all times gets its own spin-off film that's meant to kick off a new silver screen era in the franchise as a whole? Well, if you're the Mandalorian or Grogu, it means at the time of recording you are the worst performing Star Wars film to date and are arguably the laziest effort of all 12 movies. The Mandalorian and Grogu has been released 5 months after Avatar: Fire and Ash, but looks like it hit theaters 15 years ago, largely because of its over-reliance on fully CGI characters and environments that look more like a state-of-the-art video game than cutting-edge cinema. This is most apparent when interiors are covered in long takes with practical set pieces, costumes, and props, but then cuts to wide exterior shots of clunky CGI vehicles. The Mando movie isn't light on action, but despite all the explosions and expendable stormtroopers, there is absolutely no tension for even a second. Although I didn't expect Mandalorian and Grogu to be Sicario going in, I wasn't anticipating it would be so boring. Other Star Wars entries may fall short of living up to their predecessors, but this is the only entry where I kept checking my watch during and couldn't wait for the credits to come. If I were to isolate the few standalone Star Wars films like Rogue One and Solo, they may vary in quality, but each seem completely aware of their respective themes. This picture only presents themes that last as long as the scenes they were introduced in. If I were to describe The Mandalorian and Grogu in a word, it would be inconsistent, which should be no surprise considering plenty more than the 3 credited writers likely had influence on the script. From a completely out-of-place opening title sequence to messy character designs, this feels like a clear attempt to reposition the Star Wars property into a corporate slop factory instead of reinvigorating a spirit and tone that kept moviegoers coming back to theaters for decades. I scored The Mandalorian and Grogu a 41 out of 100 and graded it a C-. I wouldn't recommend this film to anyone and am disappointed to admit that it has killed any interest I might have had in 2027's Starfighter film starring Ryan Gosling. Please let me know what you thought in the comments and if you had a better time watching it than I did. I'm Albert the Movie Lion, this has been Real Bites, and if you're going to talk movies, make sure it's real talk.